Alright, so here's the play between Illusionist and Mendel, Go versus Beta, who I think Illusionist, the Beta player, I believe it's Dallas, because they usually play at the same time of day, and usually when one plays the other doesn't. So I'm under impression it's Dallas. The human styles are similar, I would say. I mean, obviously Illusionist uses something more unusual, usually, because it's a Smurf. But I think he's similar enough to assume that it's Dallas. And here he's practicing Beta, and he's doing the regular thingy. Actually, it's not a regular thing. I don't know what he was doing, and he cancelled the AirPod. I believe the standard for this would actually be factory AirPod then towers. And unless you scout something, I think the towers would finish. If there was a direct rush, I think the towers usually on most maps they finish right before there is a rush. You know, maybe slightly delayed. But yeah, it's build order mistake, I think, and he goes for double factory. Keeps his towers paused. I'm actually not entirely sure that you should keep your towers paused as Beta player. They're not that expensive, and given that resources in this game they come by the minute, you pretty much already invested whatever you're gonna invest in the towers. I mean, yeah, you get some bonus resources into the bank when you cancel them, but that's not significant. And I think, I mean, I'm not a Beta player. I don't know about how streamlined the build orders are, which I assume they're not at all, because the game is not that played. I think finishing the tower just gives you safety buffers that you deserve. I know when I played Ted on this map in the tournament and the second qualifier, I could have killed him because of that exactly thing, that he started building up towers and then he cancelled them. And if I was more aware of the situation, I mean, I saw what he did. I went protein first and I attacked his base, so I saw that he had no towers. And I think if I was more committed to the rush, if I brought in my mother go as well, which I didn't do, if I just sent my proteins right away, 1, 2, 3, I delayed the second, I think, maybe even third. I think I would have beat him, and other good players agree as well. But the situation is that Go has a lot of different rush timings. I practiced some Beta as well, and I saw blue drives do one mother. I think it was one mother delayed drover rush with a lot of proteins. So I saw like there was no early game aggression, and I went for macro build of my own, and I obviously sold towers because well, so much money, and then all of a sudden he came with several small proteins that turned into drovers and striders and just killed me. So I think it might be better to just keep these towers, and if you're a new player and if you're watching this, you probably are a new player, 100%, don't cancel it. Don't pause them, let them finish. They do more good than harm. So Dallas goes for double factory aggressive opening. And Mendel chooses to rush him. Because Mendel being Mendel has a lot of various strategies that for rushes of beta players, and I think it goes, yeah, Blues did something like that, except he had, I think, 5 proteins worth of units and didn't bring his mother goo with him. Yeah, I recognize this. So what did Dallas do wrong then? I mean, obviously he did the build wrong. I think that's it actually, because it delays quite a bit. I mean, you can pretty much factory, and he instead tried doing Enerpad and then changed his mind. I think he delays it quite a bit. He's not producing out of it either. And he finds the mother quite late as well. So, you know, like whenever I played Dash or Father Ted, I assume it's because, you know, they're experienced players and they pretty much can guess your pattern, where you're going with your mother. They would also find your mother going through it, and that actually delays your proteins quite a bit. So, you know, in a rush situation, it helps human quite a bit. And by human, I mean beta. So yeah, but obviously you can't, you know, I assume you cannot always find mother goo, especially if goo is Russian. They will probably have the potential to take a weird route across the map. So okay, he didn't find them, and he's getting rushed. Obviously he's like one commander down because of he left factory idling and the delay caused by airpad. He's one commander down, so right now he would have 5 commanders instead of 4. And he's not letting his wall finish, and he's not letting this wall finish either. Well, Dash definitely has nice micro. He's Dash like spreads his units very well, and he also targets single drovers, so they dash faster instead of taking damage and then healing back up. Yeah, he should let it finish. He has quite a bank. I think he might have skipped more commanders than just that. Just the one. I think he had like 100. No, it's fun, right? A commander is... How much is commander? I think it's 90 resources, isn't it? From a bank. So he had the plus 100 here, just the one commander that he skipped because he delayed, he had factory island, so... I mean, this looks like a tough rush to defend. I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, like it's not about defending, it's about doing damage, enough damage to the mother goo that, oh, well, I totally didn't notice that he was doing something here. I think this is a 100% mistake. And the reason I think it's a mistake is that if mother good is rushing you and they're committing their mother good to rushing you, they're gonna, lose or, win their mother right here in your base. But if they, harass you and then they decide to leave, then they will go this way. They will see it and probably kill it. Although if this rush fails, can't really do anything with mother go. I just think, like not necessarily, building this is bad. I think the position of it is bad. It's better than positioning it here because Mother Goo might not, see it somehow when they're coming through. I'm not exactly sure if the vision goes up to here, but I think it does. I think they will see it. But yeah, I think if this was in any other location, here for example, no, here might be bad as well. I think in a different location it might be a valid option. Definitely, just this location. And as far as Mendel goes, yeah, I don't like this, what he did here, because of the location of spigot, the opposite way. So you can basically just switch them left, right, left, right, left, right, or bottom up. And it's hard to harass. It's better to harass on a map that has maybe one spigot, on the other spigot they have quite far, so you can they can tower defend it. This one is tower defendable. And yeah, this map I think Russian beta players are pretty hard. Yeah, this is what I talked about in one of the previous replays that I analyzed of Mendel, the use of the protein HP as an asset. It's peculiar to me that Mendel committing to this, to such extent. I think he could, do with one protein less. Like this protein isn't really doing anything at all. He could have went this way and then moved out, because he's not. The beta player is winning here, I think. All the time I think they're winning. I mean, you can't just, shuttle across such a long distance and be beta players that has 2 towers. I mean, the only reason that even looks, like Mendel is doing something is because this refinery is building. I still feel like, the refinery building there is unnecessary. I mean, if Dallas still had 2 factories, he would easily defend it by now. And what is Mendel gonna do? He doesn't have anything at all. So, and now I think it's not just the location here that is bad, it's just also the whole existence of a proxy, because you, like, I don't know, mind game good player into thinking they're winning and staying here maybe, but I think it's still better to just, building up more commanders and just, defending it right here and right now. And I mean, what is Goo gonna do? I mean, they can't really. Essentially 2 factory beats Goo players all the time on maps that favor it. It beats them all the time, and I think this might be one of the maps that favor it. So Goo player is gonna pull back, for example, and then you're gonna just chase him down with commanders. And if he's building protein to kill your commanders, that's fine too. You're ahead economically. I think this is mostly like an experience of Dallas that made him build the expansion there, because you know, he might have been thinking, I'm gonna lose my main, but I'm gonna have a proxy, and you know, then I'm gonna build up somewhere else on map and you know, make a comeback. But I think there is like there is no need to be making a comeback in this situation, because I mean, you won this game already. He will have a ton of commandos at this point. But I think, you know, it's not really, it's not a losing play. I think it's unnecessary to, if you're a new player, like, don't do it, because as you can see, Dallas needs to micro quite a bit. So if you're a new player, don't do it. And if you're an experienced player, I think in this position against the Goo that committed this much to a rush that's doing no damage at this point, just, you know, you can do whatever and you're still gonna win. But I think keeping on with 2 factories would just be an easier solution. And I think, yeah, like here, he could have been caught. There's slight increase of risk when you're just trying to do it with 2 commandos. I think if you have more commandos, you have a bit of a, you're more risk averse, and when you have just, yeah, you can get caught like that. So, you know, the more I watch this replay, the less I like the proxy. I thought it was unnecessary, but now I think it's outright dangerous. And what? It might have been a misclick. Yeah, I was wondering how the hell is Mendel gonna win this game. And yeah, I know Mendel's gonna win this game because he told me. And now he's going back to build on a 2nd factory, which he had and cancelled, and made the game a lot harder for himself. Yeah, and now his expansion, hidden proxy expansion, is in a Scout is in the line of fire, and at this point, because of, you know, weird decision he made, or perhaps some misclicks, because the cancellation of his the selling of his original refinery just was so weird that I think it might have been a misclick. So what do we learn from this game? We learned that don't trash beta players like that. Not on this map. On this map they're gonna win every time, especially if they're going to factories. They're gonna win. So don't properly rush them like that. Second of all, if you're a better player and if you're defending a rush, it's better to commit to defense of this rush, because of the way, you know, obviously Go player work, and you know, Go race works with the balance of macro and you know, unit production. You know, can do both. So essentially, you don't need to be doing anything about you know, building up your economy in a situation like that, because you're getting ahead in economy by building army, because of the unique way of how Go operates. So that's all I really can say about this game. And you know, if you pick a strategy like proxy expansion, then commit to it as well. Don't I don't know what to say about any of this. It's just something silly that, you know, Dallas Buyersclub to whoever did, and it didn't pay off. They were caught off guard by Mendel's shenanigans, and they made some poor choices strategically wise, and lost the game. So that would be it.